Hello, this is the video to accompany Class 4, the PDF, Class 4 Global PDF is what it says. So watch this video and go along with me on the outline for the class, and you'll surely learn a lot. Let's go to the first page. We're going to finish Commanding Heights this week, so you've got more video to watch and more questions to think about in relative to economics and global economics. So feel free to look at the questions that are on the essay that you'll have to do by the end of the week. That'll be by next Monday, right? That's a week from today. While you're watching the video, it certainly can help you out in preparing you for the questions. No problem with that. I don't think anybody, maybe one person has done the Commanding Heights videos, the Commanding Heights essays. Don't do them until you've seen all the videos. And so that's the only assignment you have for this week, or that's one of just a few assignments for this week. Finish the videos and then do the essays. I'll give you some other links and some things to do just to be prepared for next week. Okay, so that's on the first page. We're going to review healthcare, government, and education fairly quickly. All right, so finish Commanding Heights. Make sure you're looking at economic systems and theories. That's what it's all about, is understanding two major theories about economics in the world. Well, right now, there's certainly blends of the two systems. And remember the two names, Hayek and Keynes. You shouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two of them. They look very different, and their theories are vastly different. But most of what you see going on in economics, as you'll figure out, is a blend of the two. Nobody's pure Hayek or pure Keynes on either side. So you'll know what I'm talking about as you're watching the video. And remember what we're watching this for. To understand globalization and the process of globalization, what it means for economics around the world, and certainly for poverty, global poverty. If you watch the Bono video or the Hans Rosling video, you know we're working pretty hard towards eradicating poverty on a global scale, and it's going to happen eventually. But it's very difficult to do. It's a very tough problem to solve. A combination of trade, governments, business, free markets, capitalism, tax policy, all those things that governments and countries do that are very difficult to figure out are hopefully easing our way towards the eradication of poverty. But we'll have to figure it out along the way. And as you can see on the next in the outline, trade is emphasized in Commanding Heights. The concept of trade is being very important for eradicating poverty, and it's a major aspect of globalization. And if you're thinking about how does globalization affect your life, it affects you every day in things you buy, in your participation in the economy, and certainly in the low prices that we have for goods and some services now too that are coming on a global scale. So think about those things. Of course, technology, moving things faster than ever before, changing things on a global basis. The technology of ICTs you learned about through Thomas Friedman, and there's more of it in the Commanding Heights. But remember, Commanding Heights is a documentary video. It's not all incredibly important facts that you have to remember, but it's filled with vivid stories. People you'll remember them talking about their personal experiences with economies and with the turmoil in economies and with the turmoil of globalization and the conflicts over globalization. So remember, it's supposed to be fairly entertaining to watch as it was made for television, but you should be able to get main ideas from it. All right, let's go to the next page about healthcare. Most of you read the two healthcare ICTs assignments. Very interesting to see your reactions. A lot of skepticism out there, I must say. Remember, we're not talking about adding mobile phones for healthcare, for text messages to remind people to take their pills instead of education, instead of literacy, instead of water, instead of all the other things that people need to be healthy and have good lives and raise the standard of living. It's something happening at the same time as these other things. And, the article said, spectacular results. How can you be skeptical about spectacular results? Why do you think somebody in a developing country needs a reminder to take their medicine? You know what? People here need a reminder to take their medicine too. And in developing countries where you have less experience with the efficacy of drugs in fighting disease, they're less likely to think of it as, oh, this is something very important to do on time. You know what people here do? People here skimp on their pills when they want to save money, and it makes them sicker. right? They go, oh, well, I'll stretch out my prescription so it doesn't cost me as much, and they don't get well. So people all over the world have trouble with the with rigid formulas of medical things, and this mobile system, it's proven itself to work. So I appreciate skeptical attitudes. That's fine, but try to look and see exactly what you're reading. If it says 90%, if it says 40%, if it says this is improving things, this is from the Economist magazine. They don't make mistakes. I mean, maybe once in a while, but they're citing this data. And what foundation? Bill Gates Foundation. There's no better, more effective foundation ever in the history of foundations in fighting global poverty, because they do things the smart way. They do things the innovative way. And if it doesn't work the way they're doing it, they change it, doing things very cleverly and making a huge difference in the world. We may eradicate malaria because of the Gates Foundation. We may eradicate polio because of the Gates Foundation. Things that governments, hospitals, researchers, countries couldn't do, but they can do because they have a free hand to spend huge amounts of money and do it a smart way. So look at these things skeptically, of course, but don't let success of something go over your head and say, "Oh, I missed it." There are smart things being done, and they're being very effective. So mobile systems, low costs in getting information out there. Remember, you turn to WebMD at the drop of a hat from your phone in the middle of the day while you're working or at the grocery store if you cough or have a rash or don't know what's going on. You have a wealth of medical information that you've gotten from who? Of course, your mother, who tested you to see if you were warm, who said, just go to bed, have some hot soup. You have the wealth of generations of knowledge of what to do when you're sick. And in many societies, they don't have that same kind of knowledge based on science. They have it based on their own experience, and they didn't use the empiricism method, of scientific method, to find out what's the best way to do things. They looked at different sources of disease or didn't understand the source of disease. Now, of course, they do, but you have to look at that and say there's a difference, and these things can. Information makes a huge amount of difference for health. And then, of course, health, the second article, health and economics. Of course, most of you agreed, see the connection. The healthier you are, the more you can work, the more you can put effort into education. Healthy children go to school more often. We're looking at girls going to school more often too. Understanding puberty and the things that happen, and getting less of a shameful and embarrassment about menstruation in developing countries, so they can go to school every day. They don't have the supplies they need to continue going all the time. And boy, this is important. You miss a couple weeks of school and you're behind forever. So these are important things, and we're understanding it better than ever, and putting things in place that are working and improving people's lives. So look at these things as successes, and good, a lot of bang for the buck. All right, let's move on. Government and ICTs. We're not going to do much work on this right now, but I just wanted to bring it up. Government and ICTs. What do we need? What are the requirements of ICTs in government? What do you do on the internet that relates to government? You get information. You fill out a form. You find out where to get a permit. Do you go downtown and stand in line? Well, you still have to go to the DMV and stand in line, but not for everything these days, right? Some things are getting easier because of government ICTs. And the same thing. The purpose and the goal is to lower the costs, is to make government more effective, more efficient, more responsive, more transparent. And is it working in the United States? For cities and states and federal government, surely it's making a difference, certainly making things easier for me and most of the things I have to do with government. So same thing in developing countries. Putting in those systems, sometimes turnkey systems. You know what that means? Just one system that they can buy and it works right away to improve transparency or improve efficiency or contact with the public for government. But there's still obstacles in it. What's the biggest obstacle in changing a system? The people, right? People don't like to change. It costs money too, but people don't like to change. They don't like to do things in different ways. So we'll do more on that. There's no reading for homework on government ICTs. Just thought we'd mention it now. And the next page, education ICTs. We'll be doing a large section on this later in the next few weeks, but I just want to mention it. Take a look at some of the TED videos. You might look at Coursera and Daphne Kohler talking about Coursera. OLPC is one laptop per child, and we'll do some analysis and look at education and ICTs and what's going on with those. And I had a Skype meeting this morning with somebody in Europe who's working on a project in Rwanda, and I'm going to be working with them as an advisor. It's a new project for university level or at least associate's degree level education in Rwanda. And the name of the project is Kepler, and I'll send you the link to it later today so you can take a look and see what kinds of things are going on in education. And we'll do more with Khan Academy next week, and so you'll be able to see all the developments that are going on in online education relating to development. It's important here too, but it's just as important, or even more important, really, in developing countries, because we have to. We're all concerned about bringing up the education level, making access to education for people around the world. Why? Because we're do-gooders, because we're friendly, because we're concerned, we're caring individuals. Maybe that's a part of it, but it's really a selfish reason. And you could look at capitalism and economics and say selfishness and greed is, the main accepted motivation for almost everything. This is selfish as well. We need everyone on Earth participating in the economy as consumers, of course, and producers, but also in their productive capacity. Everyone should be able to find work that relates to their productive abilities, because we need ideas, we need more creativity, we need more hard work from people around the world, and that's where I can guarantee you some of the most innovative ideas you're going to hear in the next 20 years are not going to be from the United States. They're going to be from places other than the United States, China and other countries around the world. As they raise their education level and understand what's going on with technology and economics, you're going to get innovation. Boom, it's going to take off in developing countries. So look for that coming up. That's the selfish reason why we want to help education around the world. It's cheaper than poverty for everybody. It's cheaper than war. It's cheaper than conflict, and it's going to raise the standard of living of everybody. So, work on Commanding Heights. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be looking forward to reading your essays in response to Commanding Heights. Please try to finish them by a week from today, by next Monday, and then we'll go on to the next section on education. Let me know if you have any questions. Everything else seems nice. The weather's nice. My dog seems happy. Kirby, you want to say anything? No, dog doesn't want to talk. And so there you go. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.